Without cops, who would brutalize a 78-year-old man, terrorize his wife, threaten her with arrest, and get away with it? That's right, the Ogden Police Department in Utah. And I wish I could say that situations and scenarios like this were rare. It's a rare occurrence, Brian. These are just a few bad apples in the bushel spoiling it for everybody else. But that's not the case. Every single day, I cannot tell you how many news stories come out that demonstrate again and again that law enforcement officials who've grabbed that ring of power, who've got the authority, who are supposed to be protecting and serving, who put their left hand on a Bible and their right hand toward heaven and said, I will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And then they turn around, as we've said time and time again, and become the very domestic enemies, the domestic terrorists they swore to protect every one of us from. It's not rare. It's commonplace. They love doing this kind of stuff to people. They get a thrill out of it. They love being in control. They love the ring of power. They love putting their hands on you. And if you do the exact same thing to anybody else, if you do exactly what a law enforcement officer does to you, you will be counted by all of society as a criminal. And rightly so. But why is it that it doesn't go both ways? Apparently because badges and uniforms grant special powers and special rights, and these are special people with godlike powers, and you can't touch them. And if we do end up suing them and they lose their jobs, we can hire them in another department. They'll get their full pay, they'll get their insurance benefits, and they'll get their pensions. Don't worry, they'll be taken care of. Bloodied face of Utah man 78 hurled to the ground by police department in unprovoked incident while responding to a call out about squatters. And so apparently the Ogden Police Department are called out because they got a report. There was hearsay that there were squatters at this particular residence and they needed the cops to come and check it out. Well, first of all, if you ever call the cops on anybody for any reason, you will automatically make their day exponentially worse. You thought your problems were bad today. You think you're going through some stuff right now. Just wait till the cops show up. They're even known for making welfare checks go bad. They might as well call it bad fare checks. It's not true that it's a welfare check because so many people, so many times in so many different states from so many different police departments end up worse off for the visit. An elderly man was left bloodied and bruised outside his own home, in front of his traumatized wife during a violent takedown by police in Utah who thought they might be squatters. Let's say this guy right here was a squatter. Is this really the answer? Is this really a good look on your department? We're going to look at the Facebook page and the Twitter page of the Ogden Police Department. We'll see what the general public thinks about this. And for some reason, it seems to be lost on these police officers. They really don't think that they've done bad. Hey, we're just out here protecting society. What if it really was a squatter? Can you imagine the damage that would be done to a homeowner's house? Why don't you check to make sure that that's what's going on, first of all? Pizza delivery drivers are more specific and they're more exact and they take more care in delivering the right pizza to the right customer at the right house than the police department who've got badges, guns, and, heavy artillery, military equipment where they could do a lot of damage. You would think that they would be more incentivized to make sure that they're at the right address for the right reason and that they treat those people right. And they're doing all this stuff on camera. This isn't off in a corner somewhere. This isn't some conspiracy theorist making stuff up. You don't have to. You don't have to make anything up. These scripts, these tyrannical scripts for these thin blue line gangs write themselves. Rand Bream 79 is suing the Ogden Police Department, and the bad part about it is the Ogden Police Department will continue doing what they're doing because it will never come out of the police chief's pocket. It will never come from the pension of the cops who actually foisted this crime on this man. Claiming he was permanently injured during a confrontation on a chilly night in November of last year. Bream and his wife, 75, were driving off from the house on East 21st Street when an officer approached and asked, "You guys supposed to be here?" We're going to watch some of this video right now. Warning, the following video contains images that some viewers may find upsetting.
Right now.
What is this?
Sit down on the bench.
Am I under arrest?
Sit down on the bench.
Then am I free to go?
No, you are not free to go. You are detained right now. We're trying to investigate.
If I'm
So,
not
what
under
is your
arrest,
name?
I'm free to go.
No, you are not. You are detained right now for investigation.
For what?
Ma'am,
What investigation? For hell's sake, you dumb shit!
Stop yelling. I'm trying to explain to you. We got a complaint from...
By the way, it is never, ever advisable. Not that you don't have the freedom to do it. You do have the freedom to do it, but it is never advisable. At least I wouldn't advise talking to a cop whose fragile ego is 24/7 on the line. You want to handle these fragile creatures with kid gloves, man. You don't want to get them upset at you.
The neighbor said his house has been foreclosed on. No one should be here. You guys are here. And there is a no occupancy sign on the door as per my partner there.
There is a sign on the door.
So
What makes you think I've been in there?
that's the property. No trespassing.
Yes, that's my sign I put up.
So you're the owner of this property.
I am.
What is your name? You got a driver's license on.
I do.
I get that from you.
I'm not driving.
You were just driving.
Not on
I
the
need
street.
Sir, ma'am, I need you to stand over there.
Okay, you have to identify yourself.
You need
It's
to
required by
identify
law. It
yourself.
doesn't matter if you're
I
not-
don't have to identify myself.
Yes,
I don't have to say one
Yes,
damn thing
you
to
do.
you.
That's fine.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I have the right to remain
Because
silent.
guess what? Maybe you're not the owner, and we don't know that. If this was your house, you would want us to investigate, right? If people are hanging around your house.
That is true. That is true. If this was this man's house and there were squatters inside occupying or damaging the house, you would definitely want somebody in there on your behalf doing something about it. That is true. But that is no excuse for this kind of treatment at all, by any stretch of the imagination.
Maybe you're some random person. I don't know that.
Maybe I am.
Okay, so we're going to figure that out.
I will show you my driver's license.
Perfect.
I will not give it to you.
Okay, you need that.
There it is.
Your name.
And you don't have to. In the state of Utah and several other states, you don't have to hand over your driver's license. You don't have to hand over your information. All you have to do is display it. Now watch how this cop just rips this license out of his hand.
Name, your date of birth, and your address.
Boom, boom.
Sir,
Hey,
I told you I wasn't giving it to you.
Now they call that an attempted crime. So it's not a crime when the cop rips it out of your hand when you didn't want that. But it's a crime all of a sudden when you try to reclaim your property. We live in upside down world.
okay, we're going to put handcuffs for now.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. Okay, this is ridiculous.
I honestly don't know how they can sleep with themselves at night. How do you go to bed knowing that you did this, knowing that your partner did it, and you, the good cop that you are, failed to put a stop to it? How? I don't even get it. As somebody says in the comment section, David Shepard said, if that was my grandparent, there would be no place for them to hide. And a lot of people feel that way. One day, well, many days they've messed with the wrong person, but one day in the future, they are going to mess with the wrong person and they are going to seriously regret it.
Stop. Stop. This is ridiculous. Stop grabbing. Stop.
The officer who's doing that which is worthy of the most ridicule is saying, this is ridiculous.
I'm not having you.
Chill out, man. Do not grab me. Let go of me right now. Let go. Let go of him.
I'm not grabbing you. My God, I'm not. You son of. Ow!
Man, do not do that.
Well, come on, just hurry up. This is very fun.
I don't know what's up with the body camera here. This is a secondary body cam. There's body cam footage that came out, I think, from this cop right here where you can actually see everything. This body cam somehow got, the audio's working, but the video got obscured somehow.
Away right
Ma'am.
now. Arrested.
He is dead!
Get back or you will be arrested right now. Get in front of your car. Now.
Hurry up! Let me out of here. You're killing me. I can't breathe. Can you grab me? Will you do something? Get up or something. Help me up.
hold on a second. There you go.
The video will come back up here in a minute.
Let's get him up.
gonna get you on your knees and stand you up, alright? 1, 2, 3, stand up, sir.
I guess the body cam fell.
Alright.
Okay, you got my driver's license, you know who I am.
We can either put them on the hood of our car or have our. Where's our other unit? I called for someone a while ago. Just move them out of the way. Tore my body cam.
Yeah, he says he dropped it.
Go down this way.
Unbelievable. 78 years old.
Where'd she go?
Yeah, I get down. I'm an
Man.
old man.
Yeah, you can have him sit on the bench.
May I sit down? The initial cop said no, and then the other cop said, yeah, go ahead and sit him down. Watch his face.
Now,
Look at this
what
guy's
is it
face.
you want?
Look at the bruises they left on this guy. Can you imagine if that was your grandfather? And stay tuned, because I want to read a story that was told by somebody who commented under this Daily Mail article. Police have been called to a $300,000 house. Why would you report like that? By a member of the public who said they saw a foreclosure notice on the front door and feared it might be squatted, but it was actually a non-occupancy notice from the Weber Morgan Health Department, which applied only to the basement of the property after it had been affected by chemical contamination. The couple were living in the rest of the building, and Bream was keen to make that clear when officers arrived. And all they did not have to go there. You don't have to lay your hands on somebody if you really lack the kind of psychological skills it takes to communicate effectively with somebody and try to get to the bottom of an investigation. If you really had any kind of desire to do that, you would have done it. But these officers, it seems like their knee-jerk reaction is, oh, we got to do it by force. We got to force that old man's arms behind his back and dislocate his shoulder. What the it's almost like, are these people even human? All they had to do was look at that license, go, oh yeah, this is your property. There's your address right there. Hey, great. Tell your officer buddy, don't grab somebody else's ID when they just want to display it. They have the freedom to display it. I wish I didn't have to report on these things every single frickin' day. Look at that guy's face. This is a guy who has children, grandchildren. This could be your next door neighbor. This could be your grandfather or your father. There's a lawsuit pending now. Of course, it's going to be, a 1983 deprivation of rights kind of thing. Hopefully, he'll get what he deserves, but the problem is it comes off the back of the tax cattle and it doesn't come out of the pockets of the people who actually committed the crime. But I wanted to read this to you because, like I said, it's happening all the time, everywhere, in some pretty horrific situations. I usually support the police, but something similar happened to Mom when we came home from my husband's funeral. So everybody's dejected. Everybody's grief-stricken because of this horrible thing that happened to their family. And then arrives the police. They never said anything. The cops never said anything except yank the driver door open and try to yank my mom out, who's still buckled in, screaming, "Get out." They tore everything in her shoulder and dislocated the bone joint and tore the muscles. Imagine how much that hurts as a younger person. Have you ever had a shoulder injury? I have. It is horrific. Especially trying to sleep with that thing. There's no comfortable position you can get in. But imagine not being a young person with the ability to heal quickly. You're an older person and now your bone is dislocated, out of joint, torn muscles, the whole bit. Just like this guy. Look at this. You think that's not going to hurt this guy? You think his recovery time is going to be like somebody who's 20, 30, 40 years old? He's got a long road of recovery ahead. And, he may get a blood clot out of this deal. I don't know if you heard, by the way, but Karen Garner just recently died. You remember what she was brutalized by officers Austin Hopp and Daria Jalali, and it was, approved basically by Sergeant Metzger of the Loveless Police Department in Colorado, where she passed away. And it's possible that she passed away as a long-standing result of what happened by the abuse of the Loveland Police Department. They tore everything. The neighbor called them because they saw someone hang out one of those doorknob hangers that advertise. That's the neighbor, got one also, and she knew what it was. She told them they were selling drugs. Awful woman. My husband had passed away from being hit by a drunk driver when he stopped to help an elderly man change his tire. Took out my husband and the man. This is why they were coming home from the funeral, because their husband had died. We buried him that day. We succeeded in suing the police, but we all went to jail and in front of my child who had just lost her dad. There's no compassion. There's no empathy. There's no mercy. There's no forgiveness. It's just this merciless, tyrannical push toward, we're going to take these people out and we're going to do it in front of the children. We don't care what just happened to you in your life. We're pulling your mom out of the car, whether she's got a seatbelt or not. My mom also sued the neighbor and won. Interesting. So the neighbor basically made a false claim, probably called emergency services number to get the cops up there, and she got successfully sued. Well, bravo. My brothers fought the officers who was yanking on my mom. There you go. That's the American spirit right there. Now, I'm not using my platform right here to tell you to go out and do this kind of thing. But hey, you know what? When this kind of stuff happens, my brothers fought the police officers, the officers who were yanking on my mom. Nightmare of the week, 11 years ago, and mom still can't really use that arm. So she's been suffering for over a decade. She's been suffering with an injury that was inflicted by people who are supposed to be protecting and serving. How's that as irony for you? Grave, dramatic, horrible irony. Again, without cops, who would abuse elderly grandpas and threaten their wives with brute force and get away with it? Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the global thought police, in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you haven't done so already, support the channel by grabbing a shirt, becoming a channel member. But how about support society by knowing your rights, standing up for your rights, and calling out tyranny? The price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you guys in the next video.